Muslim. Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honor to the other great millstone. Came on the highway and byway fitting to the marriage. I'm going to start off with Nahum. This title's going to be called The Lord Judgment. Nahum. I'm going to start with Nahum chapter 1, verse 2. Yahweh is jealous and the Lord revenges the Lord. The Lord revenges, and his furies the Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries. And he reserved the wrath for his enemies. His enemy are the 2/3. The Jake that are not coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments, or keeping the faith, or Esau. We already know in the other nations. That's there. That we should know that because the Lord chose a specific people to be rulers of the world. And that was through the spirit, through the seed of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. As you read through the story in Exodus, Deuteronomy, it tells you all throughout the scripture that Israel, the Lord chose. He will separate the sheep from the goats. Talking about Israel, and Israel be above all nations. But yeah, I'm gonna start off with I'm going down to 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power. So the Lord is slow in anger and great in power. So the Lord will give us a chance to have mercy, to help you change or become a better you. Put off the old man and put on a new man. And you got some Jake that don't really try their hardest to change, and that's what the Lord's gonna do, is destroy them. I'm gonna keep reading. And he will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord has his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm, and in the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry. When the Lord does all this, he rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry. But I'm gonna get Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Even the Lord and his weapons of his indignation, he destroy the whole land. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. But the Lord said, he's patient, and he's slow to anger. But there's gonna come a time when the Lord, that time is gonna run out for you. But you take out there and they're gonna seek for the Lord the last minute, which is gonna be in Proverbs. Well, I'm gonna finish this though. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, every man's heart shall melt. They shall be afraid, pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. Their faces shall be as flames because of the nuclear missiles. And they'll be in pain and sorrow. They'll be afraid. They don't know what to do. They'll be running out of, they're not gonna know because the Lord wasn't dealing with them, and they refuse to come back. Which that's in Proverbs. I'll get Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without, she utters her voice in the streets. She crieth in chief place of concourse, and open the gates in the city. She uttered her voice saying, but I'm gonna read that again. 21. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, and open the gates of the city. She utters her words. So isn't that what we do on the highways and byways? We're going in like in a city, like in the middle of the city, or like when people pass by, because downtown basically that's where all the everybody's there. You got Jake, you got Heathen, so everybody has no excuse. Especially people that come here to look at the history of America is usually down there, like the Boston Tea Party or the the Bloody Trail, the Freedom Trail, So everything is already there. You got what do you call them? Sightseers, people that try, So everybody's there. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I'll pour out my spirit onto you. I'll make make known my words unto you, because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. So the Lord put the spirit on us. To tell Jake to wake, rise, and depart, for this is not your rest. In America, America's not doing nothing for you, but But that gift destroys the heart. If you give them 2K, they'll forget anything Esau ever did. They sign up for basketball. Everybody wants to go play a sport. Everybody wants to entertain Esau. Everybody wants to do entertainment. Nobody wants to be serious anymore. You know. But ye have said at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. I'll also laugh a calamity. I'll mock when your fear cometh. So the Lord's gonna mock when their fear cometh because they refuse to come back to the Lord. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, when your fear cometh. That's what I was reading, and that their pain and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall travail as like a woman. They're gonna come at the last minute to call the name of the Lord, and it's not gonna do nothing because the Lord's not gonna answer you. Go down to 28. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. And this is talking about, the Lord ain't literally here, but his spirit is on the servant. Trying to find the name of the Lord. They're gonna try to find the name of the Lord, but they're gonna say something else like Yahshua. Like every time you tell somebody the name is Yahushua, they don't even say the name Yahushua. They say Yahshua, and the Lord ain't dealing with them because how do you can just tell somebody and they just say something completely different than what you said, so the name wouldn't even be given to them. But they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. So they hated knowledge and they did not choose to fear the Lord. They still did wickedly in the sight of the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that is why they're gonna be amazed at one another with flames, in the day of the Lord. But I want to get Isaiah chapter 26 verse 21. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 21. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for iniquity. The earth and be punished the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. So the Lord will come out his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth. So the Lord's gonna come back and destroy these sinners thereof. Because people refuse to listen to the Lord. It cometh out his place is talking about the spiritual realm. For behold, talking about the Lord coming out of the spiritual world to bring the chariots and the angels. But I'm gonna try to get Luke chapter 12 verse 5. Chapter 12. Luke chapter 12 verse 5. But I will forewarn you, you whom ye shall fear him which after he hath killed hath power to cast you into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. Fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because he can take your spirit. You can be. You'll be cast into a grave. Your body will be. You'll be dead. The Lord could do that. You can have a you can go through so much when you're living. The Lord will keep you alive just to preserve you for the destruction. Slowly, the Lord can give you ailments. Then you'll die. He'll keep you alive just to fear the Lord. And that's what most Jakes don't do today, is not fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's why he's gonna destroy them. And then they're gonna be looking for him in that day too. They're gonna be lost. They're not gonna know what to do. But I'm gonna get Isaiah chapter 13 verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel with wrath and fierce anger to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. That's what he's been talking about. He's going to destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Talking about America. And the sinners are those that have the law, and that's talking about Israel. The heathens, they're not, they're already sinners, but but they don't have the law, so they can't. Gotta be talking about Jake, because that's what the Lord did for Moses. He spoke to Moses to make the laws for them. Destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Just and the ones send this faith and keeping the laws, trying to keep the laws, or having faith, which Jake don't do. Because most of the time when you speak about the Lord, they get mad and they don't want to hear it. They get now, it's kind of weird. I'm gonna get um. I'm gonna get Hebrews chapter 10 verse 31. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. This is talking about how the Lord can bug you out, or he can bring sickness upon you, like cancer. Cancer, many things. I just can't think of them right now. You can probably get hit by a car. You can probably be in a wheelchair. Your child can come out deformed. The Lord can do many things. It's a fearful thing. That's what, and this is the problem with the world. Esau, everybody followed up the ways of Esau. Esau don't fear the Lord. He don't fear no one. He thinks he is the Lord. And that's where he's deluded. He's he lost his mind. Esau's bugged out. I mean, he's in his spirit, so I can't say he's bugged out. But Esau is a nut. You can't follow after a man like that, because he'll lead you. The blind leadeth the blind. They both shall fall into the ditch. It's basically you all fall in the quicksand. Y'all in a line following Esau to your destruction. So you can't follow a man like that. For he's a child. You can look at these TV commercials. You can see how Esau acts. They're riding unicorns. They're a grown man having diapers. If you watch these commercials on a Comcast, you will see what Esau is actually about. He's childish. All his commercials are always about some grown, it's child, you know, and Esau has this mentality in person. That you can't follow somebody like that. He's too childish, and he'll lead you to your destruction. I'm gonna get try to get Romans 2 and 5. Romans 2 and 5. But after thy hardness, impotent heart, treasured up unto thyself wrath against the day of the wrath against the day of the wrath and revelation the righteousness judgment of Yahweh. So you're people that are not taking heed of what the prophets are saying on how the Bible is, are reserving their treasures. So basically you're filling your treasures up for destruction. That's what we're saying right here. But after thy hardness and impotent heart treasures up unto thyself wrath against the day of the wrath and the revelation of righteousness judgment of Yahweh. So this is going to be your judgment. These riches are your destruction. So you didn't want to listen. You don't want to hear his name. You want to art. They refuse it. Instead of listening, they want to argue or scarf. They're gonna pay. Everybody is gonna get what's coming to them. Like I said, with like Cain and Abel, if thou doest well, will thou not be accepted? It's talking about how I'm gonna get that. If he did well, would thou not be accepted? But if you do not well, sin lies at the door. So it was very very simple, fairly simple. If you do well, you'll get well. If you do wrong, you'll get wrong. And Cain didn't understand that. I want to get it to show an example. Let's record it. I'm gonna get Genesis chapter 4 verse. I'm gonna start with 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. Abel was the keeper of the sheep, but Cain was the tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. You should know that they had the laws even at this time. There was laws that told, because that's what Israel does. The same thing Abel did, the same thing what Israel did in other times. Sacrifice, and that's how there was a law back then that tells you. But Cain didn't want to follow that. He wanted, thinks grabbing fruit would be the quickest way. And, you can see that with Esau today. Microwave, McDonald's, whatever is fast, Esau will do it. And it's always a side to it. It's always some side effect. You It's kind of like those medications Esau be making at the pharmacy. Instead, looking for the herbs and praying to the Lord. That takes patience. You have to, everything is not quick and expedient, but it takes patience when you pray to the Lord over what you're about to take to help it heal your body. But Esau, just take this pill, and and it won't help you. He's using you as a guinea pig. But that's how you could tell Esau and Cain had that same spirit of impatience. But I'm gonna go down to 6. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? But I'm gonna go down to 5. But unto Cain to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto you shall be his desire. Thou shalt rule over him. The Lord told him, Thou shalt rule over him. You must rule over him. Cain didn't listen. He didn't try to rule over his wickedness, what he's about to do. Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. But it tells you right here at 7 that, if thou doest well, will thou not be accepted? It's talk saying that if you do well, you'll get well. So people always, when someone goes through something, they said, the Lord wouldn't, why would God do this to me? It's because, if you did well, you'll get well. But, your past life matters also. Everything we do in our past life, everything adds up like I don't know, like debt. You're in debt to the Lord, so everything adds up together. And the Lord looks back at everything, and if whatever happens to you is because you deserve it, whether and it's not bad because everything is righteous, you know. But if you do well, you get well, it's easy, it's kind of like something to understand. For whatever you go through, you should know that you did something that displeased the Lord in His eyes. You should try to do right by Him, and not try to curse the Lord like some of these people do in the world when they go through something. I was just watching a TV show like that yesterday. But I'm gonna get Psalms chapter 137 and 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happily shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So America is gonna be destroyed. Lord is getting tired of this place. Moving on to 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. So them Edomites, they used to feed the babies, our babies, to the crocodiles, and Esau used to sell children to he ripped families apart and sell them to other Edomites. Even the women of our nation had to raise Edomite children while their kids were taken away. But their children would be bashed against the stones. Just pick them up and just throw them. But your plow shouldn't let the weak say I'm strong. But we're in the last days. The Lord is coming back to destroy this place, and the sinners, like I've been saying, the sinners are out of it. But I'm gonna get Joel chapter 2, verse. I'm gonna get chapter 2, verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. So have that turn. That happened. Yeah, it happened many times. And people still think the scriptures aren't real, and everything that's happening is written in the scripture. They don't want to read, but they'll judge it. You can't judge some. You can't judge be off based off somebody else. It's kind of like a review. I'll be looking. I'll search up a movie. People have so many bad reviews because someone else said it, and they add on. It's like you can't judge it off what else somebody else says. You gotta look into it yourself and see for yourself if it's true or not, if it's true or not. And and it tells you. And this happened. They shall turn into darkness and the moon into blood for the great and terrible day of the Lord. It happened many times, and and it shall come to pass, and who shall call in the name of the Lord shall be delivered. The Lord is coming back, and the Lord ain't playing. He's showing you these signs, so you won't have no excuse. They won't say that I didn't know. I'm sorry. It's not gonna work like that. Lord, you're gonna get your judgment. You reap what you sow. You sow through flesh, you'll get flesh. But I'm gonna get another scripture. Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I'll destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. Because the Lord will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, because the elect, the 144,000, will be still saved out of that, But the Lord is watching the sinful kingdom, and the sinful kingdom is the nation of America, Babylon, because that's where most of the wickedness comes from. Then it crosses the whole world. Because Esau, that blessing Esau had, thou shalt have the fatness of the earth and the dew of the heaven from above. So this all works hand in hand. So and he covered the faces, the judges thereof. He covered the face of the judges. That's how talking about the white man. Because all the judges in the scriptures are all white. You can look in a bookstore and try to look for, probably Bible. There's something called Bible stories. The cover, white people. Movies, white people. Like Esau thinks that Esau trying to take part in something that he never did. Like he's faking. Stop faking it. Be who you are. Stop lying. But that's what he does. He's in denial. That's all he does is deny everything. He can't be. He'll point at somebody else, and hide. Esau does. Esau will just lie. But yeah, I'm gonna get the Lord's gonna destroy them. I'm gonna get Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15. For the day of the Lord is there upon all heathen. Thou hast done it, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So the reward that shall return upon thine own head. How are people into slavery? How you and even in the stories, in the Apocrypha, it talks about how there was 5 brothers that were all tortured by the king. One got their tongue cut off, one got thrown in the fire. So we turn unto them what they have done unto us. I'm gonna read that again. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Everything that happened to Israel shall happen to all the heathens. So to even in the stories, in the Apocrypha, people get their tongues cut off, and how they were thrown, some were thrown in fire. You got Daniel, he was thrown in a den of lions. So everything that happened to us, even to the smallest stories, was gonna be happening to all these heathens. They're gonna have to run away from lions with a stick. They're gonna try to poke it. They're gonna run around in a circle or something. They're not. It's gonna be like when we start pointing at. It's gonna be like it's gonna be funny. They're gonna get what they did to us. But But I'm gonna get Habakkuk chapter 1, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come. It will not tarry. So wait for it, have patience, The Lord is gonna come back. The Lord is gonna, but then it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, The Lord is gonna destroy America. But it's gonna be on his time. Not as I said, the Lord 1,000 years to us is one day to the Lord. Yeah, and it shall come. So just be patient. But this is gonna get down to Esau, the so-called white man. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. That's talking about how in America they don't want to fix their problems. Esau doesn't want to do any of that, you know. But he has more. He likes to go overseas and mess with other people, but he don't want to fix what happened at his own home. It's kind of like you're telling someone else's kid how to raise them, but you don't know how to raise your own kid. Kind of like that sentiment. Esau doesn't know how to fix his own roads. All he does is slap up, that black tar. That's all he gets. Slap that tar on some concrete, and boom, that's it. That's it. That's all he does. He doesn't even fix his own roads. The train station's all messed up. Esau he's lazy. He wants everything fast. Just put some just get some black tar, put it down, boom, he's done with the street. You know, I be seeing a lot. There's be cracks. There be like lumps. People complain about these things, but Esau had more important things: buying weapons and bombing people. Instead of fixing what's happened here. They have more homeless people everywhere. I was watching this video in California that the homeless rate is high, and Esau is pitting. I think these type of he's making spikes out of these concrete, and he's making so homeless won't sleep there under the bridge. So Esau is just a demon. He doesn't. You can't get rest from Esau. Yea, also he transgressed by wine. He's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death. He enlarges his desires as hell, and is the grave. So like he wants to kill everything. He wants to kill himself. That's what he is. He hates it. He fights his own people. You got German, America. Russia. Even the time of Alexander the Great, when he split his kingdom, the generals were fighting against each other. So Esau, if you can't get along with your own people, you're gonna fall apart. How is it? You're gonna destroy yourself if you can't get along with your own people. It just doesn't add up. He enlarges his desire as hell and is at death and cannot be satisfied. So see another Edomite having something, he'll watch him. They'll probably be in some type of agreement for like a year. Then they turn an evil eye to each other and try to attack. It's Esau. It just he's crazy. And, cannot be satisfied, but gather onto him all nations and heapeth onto him all people. He tried to take over nations, countries. He put democracy everywhere. America's like that. Talking about America. Shall not, I'm gonna go down to 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against them, and they taunt him proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long? To him that lays himself with thick clay. So he's stealing, but he's gonna, how long? That's why he's always so paranoid. I bet 20 or 40 years back then, when he had, I don't know, he had all these riches, he was not paranoid. Like if you're Jake and if you sit like if you're on the elevator with Edomite, they'll clutch their purse, they'll keep eyeballing you because the stuff that they did is not theirs, the stuff that they stolen is not theirs, and they have a bad conscience of what they did in their past. So they're gonna keep being paranoid. It's not they'll speed away and they'll make an excuse, say sorry, but I have to go somewhere. They'll just to get away from you because they're paranoid. They steal stuff and they think that nothing's gonna happen to them, but they know that something's gonna happen to them for what they did after everything they done. And so I'm gonna read that again. I'm gonna read from 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against them, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, death and destruction. How long? To him that lays himself with thick clay. So Esau's gonna get what's coming to him. That's why he's so paranoid. I bet back then he wasn't so paranoid, and like he'll walk around having no problem. I bet he wasn't even like, scary how he is now, because his kingdom's falling apart. You got Esau calling the cops on Jake for no reason at all, just to mess with people, just to do. They can't do nothing no more. It's like they have no power, you know. And and I was reading this. They said by 20, I doubt America's gonna last, but I don't know. It said by 2050 that most Edomites are gonna be mixed. So even Esau is gonna. It's not even gonna be only, they're gonna be still Edomites if the country still lives on, if that's through the spirit of the Lord. But I don't know. But I'm just trying to say that the Lord, I mean, Esau is not gonna look like how he is now, because that white skin of theirs is kind of it's a recessive gene. Dominant skin is brown skin. So if they have a child with a Jake, the child not gonna look like Edomite no more. So they're not gonna be like colored, full on Edomites, but they're still gonna be Edom, you know. If that, yeah, if it makes sense, you know. They're gonna be colored. There's gonna be colored Edomites, basically, yeah. I'm gonna get one more scripture. I'm gonna get John 8:44. Ye of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. Who's a murderer from the beginning, abode not the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh of a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he's a liar and the father of it. So just talking about how Esau, but it's twofold. Talking about the Pharisees and Edom, but when he speaks lie, he speaks his own, for he's a liar and the father of it. He's a liar. That's all he does is lie, make up his own stories. He would say he went to Mars, the moon. He did none of that. And he's gonna say that chariots are UFOs. And still not telling the truth to the people. Esau that's all he does. He was a murderer from the beginning. And who's that murderer? That's talking about Cain. He abode not in the truth. And he lies, and there's no truth in him. And there's no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. He's the father of lies, because he's the first one that lied. Esau, Cain, Esau, they're the same. But talking about how much the devils, some Jake followed after that. But that's it on that. So I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, double honor to the elder great millstone. Salutation to all y'all coming on the highway and byway. Till next time, say shalom.